We're starting with a session reviewing the customer requirements. So here is the complete implementation architecture where you have the archway, the bellwood, connected to the integration layer which has message broker and the ETL clover. Then there's application layer for Windows which has initiate master data engine that's connected to web application layer. Then the application layer is connected to the database layer DB2. Here as you can see the table for source data where the extract has 15 fields and the data comes from two sources. In the client dictionary you have member types and entity types where members are basically individual record coming from source types and you can define one member type person. Then for entity type, there are distinct set of member records representing the same party, and these members are compared and grouped into entities where you define one entity type as identity ID. Now there are two kinds of source attributes, the definitional source and the informational source. For definitional source that contributes to member records to the hub. So these sources are most often databases that store vital data. And the sources could be flat files or spreadsheets integrated via message broker. So Archway and Bellwood AB are the two definitional sources. Now for informational source which are used to validate records stored, and there's the informational sources that provide a cross reference. Then there's Memident that stores identifiers like SSN driver's license. Then Social Security Administration (SSA) is one of the informational source. So these attributes, they're the building blocks of member records, where addresses are specific data elements, and simple attributes, they only contain one field. For aptitude, type and segment, they are stored in database tables called segments, grouped by type. So legal name, name of kin, organization, they're stored in mem name segment, home address, billing address, they're stored in mem address segment, the birth date, account open date in the date. So here you can have a look at the configuration, that is 7 attributes, maximum active and existing values, they control historical versioning. Now for the case of segment definition, where you have extracts fields which are laid out with their segments, database field names and property. An algorithm that defines the core logic for matching and searching, where there are 3 steps: standardization, that's a restructuring of data for consistency; bucketing, where it organizes records with similar data; and comparison, defining the method for comparing data. Now there are 7 attributes. You can go through the algorithm synopsis. That includes 7 attributes, 9 standardization, 6 bucketing function, 5 comparison, 4 bucketing groups, and 8 comparison rules. For add-ons, there are anonymous values that are used as placeholder or simply fake values. Then the equivalent string with this anonymous values, they use map common nickname, and the phonetic conversion that converts string to key sound makers. For threshold review, the initial indentation will start with both thresholds set to the same number. That means no task will be generated, speeding up the first iteration. Later review of the data will help to determine the optimal threshold, and the threshold, they are set in algorithm and stored in the MPI SRCX SRC table. For tasks, there's potential overlay, potential duplicate, potential linkage, and review identifier. For the data extract guides, it is basically a subset that is used to verify configuration and generate weights. Data should include representative sample and minimum of 1 million records or greater than 10% of the total dataset is there.